Hi there, and welcome to What the Fuck is George Cooking? Today we are going to make homemade bread. This is very easy. You can do it with just a slow cooker, about 2.5 hours time total, and not too many ingredients. Makes it really nice, easy, fast, and it's fun to do. So, let's get started. For our recipe, we're going to need a few items. I've gone ahead and prepared them out ahead of time for us. We have our yeast. Don't ask me to pronounce the company name. I can't do it. Just one packet is all you need though. We have 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. We have 1.5 cup of lukewarm water, and then 3.5 cups of flour. Also, just a little bit of extra flour just to put down on our cooking or working surface when we are kneading the bread. So let's get started. Now, I'm not a master chef, baker, or whatever. So for me, I still have my recipe card out, just using my phone here. Don't mind me when I look down just to figure out exactly what we're doing here. So let's get started. First it says, let's line a slow cooker with parchment paper. Well, if you guys don't know what parchment paper is, it will change your life. This stuff is freaking fantastic. Makes it super easy to clean up a whole bunch of messes, and yeah, so useful around. So I'm going to just take this and pop it into my slow cooker. Doesn't need to be sized too correctly or whatnot. Like, it'll overflow. You don't have to cut it into a special oval shape when it all folds up, so it'll be fine how it is there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to combine our yeast and sugar, so into a bowl. So take our sugar, put that in. Forgot to open that up. Let's take our yeast, pour that in. So we got our yeast and our sugar together. We're going to add water and stir until combined. So let's take this, pour that in there. We'll give that a little stir. So you don't have to do anything too fancy. This is just a quick little splash it together, get it all combined there. It's mostly the sugar and water. The yeast is not going to dissolve on you. Next step, what we're going to do is add our flour, olive oil, and salt and stir until it's combined. So we're going to start with the smaller stuff, let's say. So salt. This is a kosher salt. It would probably work with regular salt. I just use kosher salt because that's what the original recipe called for. And then we're going to add our flour here. Boom. Put that all in, and we're just going to stir that together, get it all nice and combined. Alright, so it says just stir and combine until it's into, what do they call it here? A shaggy dough begins to form. And so, yeah, it's kind of shaggy-ish looking, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they mean by that. Next step, get those out. I'm going to take some flour, and we're going to just put it onto our work surface. This will help prevent the dough from sticking to your surface. It helps with cleanup as well later. Just spread that all around. Makes a big mess. Great for the kids to play with. Easy to vacuum up afterwards. So. We're going to take our dough. We're going to put that down. So it says we're going to just knead this for about 5 minutes. You want the dough to become smooth and soft. It's feeling pretty soft, but it's not too smooth. So let's just knead it for 5 minutes. Basically all you're doing is squishing the dough together, turn it around a little bit, squish it down, and just keep on doing that. So we'll do that for about 5 minutes. It's 9:32. All right, let's go. All right, so it's been just about 5 minutes now. The dough is smooth, it's soft, malleable. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a final bit of kneading here. Going to try to get nice and round, not have too many marks on it. Doesn't matter really, but hey, let's try to make it look pretty. But hey, voila, a dough ball. So next step is we're just going to go over to our crock pot. We just pop this right into the crock pot. We're going to put it on high. It's going to be on there for about 2 hours. Now, the recipe calls for it to be about 200 degrees. I'll show you how I measure that later. But let's just pop this in and get it started. Alright, so I have it over in the crock pot. It's set for 2.5 hours on there, so I will just set a timer. I set my timer for about 1 hour and 55 minutes. I find that does a really good job of getting it up to the correct temperature internally, and it works out well for me. So, we'll see you guys in about 2 hours. Hi there, and welcome back to What the Fuck is George Cooking? So, it's been about 2 hours now. Not quite. A few minutes shy, but my alarm went off, so we're just going to take a quick look to see how our bread is doing. Now, it's been cooking in the crock pot. It's on high. Remember, high for 2 hours. But our goal is 200 degrees Fahrenheit. So I have here is a simple cooking thermometer that you can just buy. This one I got at IKEA. It's about $10, I think, so really affordable. And all I'm going to do is pop it in the middle of the bread. Woo. Let's see how we're doing. So, I'm a few minutes early. Right now it's about 194. It's slowly creeping up here. So I figure it'll be actually at 200 pretty quick. 195, yeah. So it slowly works its way up. Just going to put the lid on, let it sit for a little bit longer. See if that's going to bring it up. So close, 199. What we're going to do in the meantime, though, is we're just going to turn the oven on. We're going to set it to broil. Mine just sets it high on broil. That's going to start heating up just the top element, which is going to make our bread nice and golden on top. When you're cooking this bread in the toaster oven, in the crock pot, The bottom side will get brown, golden brown and hard, looks like bread, but the top actually still looks very pale and very raw. It almost looks like, no, this can't possibly be done. No, there you go, 200 degrees. And so, while we think that it might not be done because it's still very white on top, it actually is. All you need to do is put the oven on the broil. That will give it a nice dark coat on top. Now, just going to grab the bread and we're going to just transfer it over onto a cooking sheet. Take a look, it's starting to get nice and brown on the bottom. Perfect. Now, while size didn't matter too much when we were putting it in the crock pot, let me just turn that off. It does matter the size of the parchment paper when you put it in the oven. If you let the parchment paper sit up too high like this, it will catch fire. I know that from experience. Alright, with the excess cut off and it's less of a fire risk, I'm just going to go ahead and pop it right into the oven there. You want it somewhat close, but not right on top, or right underneath, I guess, the elements there. Now, you're only going to be putting this in for about a minute, 1 minute to 3 minutes. Now, you have to be very careful because it will go from not quite there to not quite there, kind of looking a little bit there to, oh dear, it looks like it's about to catch fire and it's black on top. So it's very important to keep an eye on it and make sure that as soon as it turns just the right color, you pull it out right away. Get your oven glove ready just in case. Like I said, it takes between 1 and 3 minutes. I usually do 1 minute, spin it around 180 degrees, put it in for a second minute. My oven's not always perfectly even on temperature. And then I'll watch it intensely for that final third minute, and if I need to, I'll pull it out early, just in case. Alright. Okay, so we're just at 1 minute now. Still looks pale on top. That bottom actually looks to be getting a little bit more brown, which is kind of weird, but that's perfectly fine. And let's just sit here for another minute. Okay, just coming up on 2 minutes now. Let's take a peek and see how it's doing. So, I'm getting just a little itty bit of specks of brown on top, so it's getting close, but it's not there yet. I'm going to put it back in. We watch the time very carefully. We really don't want this to burn. All this hard work will just go to waste. So, let's see. Not too long. Check it often. Make sure that you don't burn it. Okay, so I'm now at 3 minutes total in the oven there. Let's see how it's looking. It's starting to brown up. Then I just put in just a little bit. What I didn't do is I didn't turn the broil on early, so because of that, the element was still heating up. So let's not wait too long. And there we go. I have a nice brown loaf. The side will darken up a little bit more too. But otherwise, we're done. We have homemade bread. It's super easy. Cleanup doesn't take too much. The prep time, very quick. We can do it in about 10 minutes. A little bit less if you're not talking to a camera. So overall, in 2 hours and 20 minutes, you can have yourself a fresh loaf of bread. Now, stay tuned. Tonight I'm going to be trying to do an experiment with a garlic cheese loaf. So, hopefully I'll be able to post the results from that later on tonight. In the meantime, have a great time and enjoy cooking.